Oh, oi, Terry, we got a show to do. Terry, Vegas. We're going to Vegas.
Oh, next year. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by good friends at Top Sport and the Stubby Club. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Dan, what a terrible weekend of rugby league.
Certainly was a weekend that happened, and that is about where I want to end this discussion. It was that Sunday afternoon game, with the greatest of respects to both sides, was diabolical, and both teams need to come out and apologise.
Do they? Do they need to come out and apologise, or do the NRL need to come out and apologise for playing the games this weekend?
Well, Newcastle were at full strength, so they need to come out and apologise. Manly I can give a pass to.
Newcastle didn't have Tyson Frizzell, they weren't at full strength.
Yeah, well, almost at full strength.
Yeah, technicalities, Dan.
Technicalities. Nicely done, well done.
Well done. Now, speaking of well done, Jared Croker is in a position to play his 300th game.
This weekend, right?
Of rugby league. Now, he's not going to play. He's not going to play against the Tigers. He wants to play his 300th game at home in front of his family and friends. He doesn't want to play it at Campbelltown. Quite frankly, I don't blame him.
There's two sides to this story, obviously.
Two sides, yeah.
And I put a tweet out asking...
And this isn't a shot at my Tigers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, he knows he's going to lose, so he doesn't want to.
Absolutely.
Now, I put a tweet out on Saturday night after Ricky Stewart announced that he would be rested so he could play the game in Canberra, asking for people's opinions. And it was pretty overwhelming that people didn't really care and that he'd earned the right. There were a few, though. Perhaps the more heated side was that it was disrespectful to the Tigers. What if he does an ACL? What if he, does a HIA in training and misses the Canberra game? Does he miss the next game and come back? All very, very good points. That's Jared Croker. It's not Cam Smith. It's not like they're arresting Cameron Smith showing disrespect. It's a bloke who has played, 4 or 5 games this year, and it's played okay. But, Nick Kotrick used to play for New South Wales and could very easily come in and fill in at centre for a week. I don't see it as a huge issue, but if I'm a Tigers fan, I'm probably a little bit annoyed by this.
What, because you're a Tigers fan?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Stole my joke.
I honestly think that Jared Croker, the last couple of years, has been riddled with injuries, form's dropped, speed's dropped. The only thing that hasn't let him down is his goal kicking.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. So I think now that he's back in the team and given the chance, that you probably didn't think that he was going to play his 300th game.
Looks long shot.
I didn't think he was going to get 300 games. So to give him the opportunity to play his 300th game in front of his family and friends and not play it at Campbelltown, I understand that people might find that it's disrespectful for the Tigers. On the flip side of that, I think the Tigers are disrespectful to the NRL because they suck.
Yeah, fair call.
So I think Croker's earned the right to choose when and where he plays this game. Very similar to John Morris, if you remember, he played his 300th game when he was under an injury concern and then retired.
Yeah. Now, going back to what I said before, there's been players, bigger, with the greatest respect to Croker, bigger name players that have played their 300th away and then celebrated when they came home, and people were thinking, why can't they do that? Again, situationally, I'm okay with this. It's not something that I want to see happen regularly, though, especially for those top quality players.
I think, look, your 100th, your 50th, your 100th, your 150th, 200th, play it wherever, right? 300 games, you have played 15 years of rugby league. You could play this game wherever you want.
Yeah.
If you want to play it in front of your family and friends, you should turn around and say, you know what, we're not playing at home for 2 weeks. I'm not playing these 2 games.
Completely fair. Now, what it does do is it gives Canberra a brilliant opportunity to fill Canberra Stadium up.
Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed if it's not near capacity. I don't know who they play. I don't think it matters. I don't care what time it is. If Jared Croker, who's probably the best raider of the last few years, maybe Whiten aside, but him being gone obviously brings it closer. If they don't get a full house, then it's pretty disappointing, especially considering he is going to skip a game to play it at home. So I'm looking forward to the event. I've seen some Canberra fans say that they were going to Campbelltown to celebrate. Now they're not going to bother. I just wouldn't bother.
Now, speaking of not bothering, Dan, why did we bother with this weekend of rugby league? Why do we bother with origin-affected rugby league? Just why?
Channel 9 and Fox Sports is why. Now, our good mate, or your good mate Richie, tweeted something earlier.
Not my mate.
Well, nobody's good mate Richie came out and quoted the figures from Saturday night's game, and they were quite high, almost normal, not quite, but not too far off. People still watching games like I did. I sat there on Saturday and was like, what am I going to do to 5:30? Whereas usually it's like, what am I going to do to 3 o'clock? So it's habit. You don't want to get out of the habit and try and force it back in. That's the only reason why, because the quality this week was pretty bad.
Again, you can shut it down.
You should shut it down.
And you can fill it. You can fill it with Pacifica games. You can show some New South Wales Cup games.
Mate, the girls have got 2 origins. They've had to come up with ridiculous tiebreakers. You can put a third game in because there's 3 men's origins. There can be 3 women's.
There are so many things you do. Shut it down for 2 weeks, though, is the obvious answer.
Yeah.
Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, and pack your rugby league. Like this week, obviously, would be a weekend off, right?
And I think that will be fine. Mate, give me the Pacifica test.
Yeah.
Give me some New South Wales Cup.
Make a New South Wales Cup versus Queensland Cup All-Stars
Yeah,
game.
let's just do
How
something.
lit would that be?
It will be great. Of course, there'll be some club like the Roosters that will pull their players out and ruin it for everyone. But in theory, it's better than what we saw this weekend. Now, I don't think it was purely origin affected because as we mentioned before, Newcastle had 1 player missing and they were terrible.
Did Parramatta have anyone go to Origin?
I don't even think so. They had Paulo and Madison's obviously out. He would have played Origin. I think.
Hope so.
If they're going to do this, they have to look at the fixtures and say, well, Newcastle are bad anyways. Let's leave them out. Let's put a team that's going to be entertaining. Like South. South are really entertaining sans their players. So just get it right. But I'm with you. Just shut it down. This is terrible.
Shut it down. Now, Dan, with the Origin, being during the season, the other thing that you get are buys. Now,
so many buys.
Yeah, now, I get the fact that there is an odd amount of teams, so you need to have a buy, right? Mm-hmm. But what they did this year is they introduced more rounds to give teams more buys, and then they reward them with points.
This has been a bugbear of yours for quite some time.
It has been a bugbear of mine. Now, if you take the points away from the buys, Brisbane go to the top of the ladder.
Yep. Cronulla fall way out because we've had 2.
Yeah, we don't fall way out by much though because we've had more wins. So the only saving grace, as you said, like Cronulla have won there, but Brisbane would be miles ahead of the competition at the moment because they haven't had their buys to get their points.
Souths either.
Souths haven't. I've seen a lot of people though whinging about the fact that their team hasn't had a bye yet. Mm-hmm. Brisbane get 3 buys in the final 10 weeks of the competition. That is a gift draw.
That is very, very good.
Now, take that away. I don't like the points for the buys.
No,
I don't see it.
I'm very much either that you'll start on 6 or you
start on 0. Start on
because
6.
you look at it now and you can see teams that have got 2 less wins than teams that they're well above. And you're like, okay, it doesn't matter. But off camera, we were discussing the NBA. And teams fall behind, but you look at it and it's got games played.
Yeah.
And you can look and work it out in your head. And with
the NFL, no buys in the NFL.
There's buys, but they don't give points because it's a win and loss. So it's a small thing. It's nitpicking, but it does bother me, Terry.
It bothers me a lot.
Well, it gives fans of teams that don't deserve to be talking like, oh yeah, we're this, okay, yeah, but blah blah blah. It's funny you mentioned Brisbane because Parramatta have the bye in the last round of the competition, which is going to give them a plus in that they're going to be well rested, or they're going to have to book Bali a week early.
Yeah,
that is a gift draw either way.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Dan.
Yes, mate.
I'll just throw this one to you.
Thank you very much. Now, over the weekend, there's two players mainly that stand out. There's players that perhaps in the past I haven't really taken to. I think that's fair, and I thought, This weekend, though, they're 2 of my favourite players in the competition. That's Corey Horsburgh and Jermaine Osako.
Yeah, now, everyone remembers Corey Horsburgh burst on the scene, crying, sticking his finger up, challenging people to fights. Nothing's changed.
It hasn't.
Still challenging everyone.
And I love him.
Now he baits you into the fight.
He's so good. Now, Big Red became Big Bald over the weekend, which killed me a little bit inside, I have to admit. But this is a bloke who, a couple of years ago, was on everyone's, why is he playing first grade list? Now he's like, we need to get this guy into every game possible.
Yeah.
If he plays on Sunday afternoon for Newcastle or Manly, that game's a 10 out of 10.
Absolutely. Now, for anyone who had the pleasure of listening to James Graham talk about Corey Horsburgh during the Triple M coverage, It was absolutely amazing. Like, James Graham was going wild for this guy. If you had the displeasure of listening to Gordon Tallis, I apologise. But James Graham was going absolutely nuts for Corey Horsburgh. And then he answered the age-old question. Corey Horsburgh answered it for us. Would you rather have red hair or be bald? And he's just come out and answered it. And he was fantastic at the end of it.
He's so good on and off the field. This is a bloke who has just developed into something. He's a lovable big doofus, and I love him.
Yeah.
Second player is Jermaine Osako, who, again, I say with the greatest respects, tongue in cheek, was kind of a meme player. Yeah. This is a guy that came in, you're like, how many knock-ons is Osako going to make this half? Now he's like just scoring tries for fun, having a wow of a game. What a pickup.
Yeah, and it was really good to hear Shane Flanagan talk about him and how he found him. Because you've got to remember, Osako was a Cronulla junior.
He was, yeah. All the good ones are.
He travelled over to New Zealand, signed him, travelled over to New Zealand to re-sign him because he was going home, he was homesick. Kept him. He was a 5'8". He was a 5'8" at the Sharks. Signed by the Broncos as a backup fullback, and they had a bunch of injuries. Threw him on the wing. In his rookie year, made his test debut, won Rookie of the Year, and then just turned to proverbial toilet.
Yeah, he just fell off the map. I don't know what happened, but...
In and out of the Broncos team, got released last year, went to the Titans, was dreadful for the Titans, goes to the Dolphins, everyone laughed about it, goes back to Wayne Bennett, and he looks like the best winger in the competition again. It's
fantastic. These are the stories I love. A bloke that just kept getting kicked and kept getting back up.
And just keeps kicking that ball over the post.
He's a point scorer machine. He's leading the competition in points. And he's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, he is. He's so good.
Oh, I love it. But speaking of fun, Tawari played 4 minutes on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
They were the best 4 minutes of the competition.
Big boy. Dan?
Yes, sir.
I'll also leave this one to you.
So this week, State of Origin coverage has been not so good. It's all been about the biff.
Yeah.
Now, okay, years gone by, biff, cattle dog, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's been like 7 or 8 years, probably even more.
10 years.
10 years
since punching got banned.
Let's let it go. No, I love a stink, mate. I love the UFC, I love some boxing. But leave the punching to the professionals, not these footy players.
Yeah. They made a big deal about New South Wales going into camp and doing a boxing session, right? Every team's do boxing sessions.
It's
NRL great cardio.
It's great cardio.
Not that you or I...
no, I've heard it's good cardio.
We don't like cardio. But, it's great. And then they're talking about, they only brought Tavita Pangai Jr. in to fight. Yeah. Well, he probably shouldn't have, because he can't fight.
No.
We saw his boxing.
Yeah.
It was really bad. And we saw Royce Hunt towel him up in a pre-season game. So
let's put that to the side.
They haven't gone boxing to fight. They've gone boxing for team bonding, to see who will throw up first, and for a red hot cardio session. Yeah. That's it.
Come on, it's the biggest football game of the year, blah, blah, blah.
Let it go.
I'm willing to go on record here and say that if Flegler, who's only been picked to go Tavita Pangai Jr. and Pangai Jr. fight within the first couple of minutes, both will get sat down in the sin bin, and all we'll hear all week is about how horrible rugby league is, that they had to resort to fighting. You know what I'll point to? This week's Origin coverage. You know what I'll say, Terry? No. Terry.
Talk to me, Dan.
Time to talk some black, white and blue. And mate, what a week it was.
We didn't lose.
We
got those 2 bye points that we hate so much.
Very important. Now, I came into this weekend thinking it's going to be great. Nothing's going to upset me. Nothing's going to ruin my weekend. And the Jets said, oh, yeah, want to bet? But we'll push that way down. We'll repress that memory. We're here to talk about the state of the Cronulla Southern Sharks. We're here at, round 13? We played 11 games, I think, or something. It's been, who cares? How we going?
I think we're going all right. I think if the competition ended now, we would win the New South Wales Club of the Year.
Well, I think we would, because we're the only team. Because we sit second in NRL. We sit second in the New South Wales Cup. We sit second in the Jersey Flag. Now, let's just talk about the lower leagues before we get into the meat and potatoes of the Sharks. Jersey Flag.
Got flogged.
By the table-topping Roosters.
Now, we have beaten the Roosters.
We have beaten the Roosters. We were the only team. We beat their undefeated streak.
Yep.
So
15-14, and then they dusted us 35-14.
They did, so they got their revenge, albeit at Wentworth Park, which is doesn't count. Now, we in January, February convened and did a bit of a preview on Fins Up. Make sure you jump on and check it out, please. and said the flag team would be pretty competitive this year, if not, a top 4 side. They would be around there and about the top 8.
Yeah, we missed the finals last year on for and against.
Yeah, in the last game.
The Dogs scored a try right on the bell out wide, and we said, don't worry, I ain't going to kick this anyway, so we're in the finals. Haven't been able to kick it.
Yeah,
we were out of the finals.
It probably saved us around one embarrassment.
Yeah.
So, sitting second, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that.
The recruiting was really good. Henry O'Kane, we got him from the Tigers, played in the World Cup for Ireland. He has been an absolute standout. We also got Max Riolo. He's an absolute superstar in that competition as well. And we got some big props.
It's big boys, yeah. If you haven't
absolute-
been down and seen them before the games, next Saturday night, I definitely recommend you get there early because there's some big boys.
And one of the centres in that team, Noah Lester. I don't know if he's ever going to play NRL, but I'm all in on him. I think he's just fun to watch.
Well, let's say he's going to play NRL right here, right now. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Pretty happy. Now, New South Wales Cup, we sit second. Now,
We should be first.
I'm going to get your thoughts on
We
this
should have walked the comp.
before I unleash, because off camera I said that no team in the world, Sydney Thunder included, frustrates me quite like the Newtown Jets. So please, Terry, where do we sit?
We're second. We've thrown so many games. We were up 30-0 against Blacktown and had a draw. We've been up mega points and lost. We were up 12-0 against Canberra and lost. We're up 17-10 at halftime on Sunday against the bottom of the competition, Sydney Roosters, and lost. But this Newtown team, it's not the same team every week. Trindle plays last week. The Sharks play last week. Trindle goes to Coffs Harbour, comes back to play for Newtown. There is no Sharks game this week, and Trindle doesn't play. Like, what the hell is going on?
Very valid question. Now, okay, we sit second. So what I'm about to say probably won't make a lot of sense without context. Everything you said, I think a few points might have been off, is correct. If the games finished at halftime this year, we would be undefeated minor premiers by so far. You could close competition now. The second half, we're absolutely diabolical. Yesterday against the Roosters, I think it was 19-6. We were 2 converted tries.
17-10.
Yeah, so we were well ahead.
Fact-checked it.
No, there you go. We were well ahead. Then we went further ahead, and I was like, this is
23-10.
18.5 points start, not enough. And then we turned to absolute words I can't say on this program. That we gave away about 10 penalties in a row. I think we got one that was very lucky inside the 10 or something. And it's not a game you can look at and go, geez, the refereeing was bad. No, Newtown were bad.
Yeah.
Now, what you said before is very important. That's the whole reason I want to bring this up. Don't forget, this is the Newtown Jets. There's a Newtown coach, there's Newtown contracted players. Now, I haven't seen the exact stats, but we provide so many players, and it's up to them where they play. Mm-hmm. We can say, hey, we want Dan Atkinson to play at 6, but if they think he's a 1, he'll play at 1. That's generally the feeling. Don't quote me on that, but that's how it's been presented. Now, there are a few Newtown contracted players that probably wouldn't make the side if Cronulla had a say. There's probably a couple of Cronulla players that would, but, you take the good with the bad. Now, we've seen Dan Atkinson shifted around. We've seen Puru in, Puru out. We've seen Trindle in, Trindle out. If Trindle doesn't play, we cannot win this competition. Now, as a Cronulla fan, it probably shouldn't be overly important to me, but as a Newtown Cronulla fan, it's very important. I want to win this competition. It's all about first grade.
You want to win every competition you're in.
Of course you do. Now, it's all about first grade, really. So Trindle should play New South Wales Cup to complement first grade. But when you've got guys like Josh Mansell, he shouldn't be playing. He's just not there. Billy Magoulias, who does one magic thing in 80 minutes, always has. Your Tassapali's probably the one Newtown player you go, that guy has to play every week. Geordie Linu's probably number 2. A couple of big names up the front. But both like Colhoun and Tapua, Big Tukes, they're not getting the minutes they should because of Newtown players. As I said in the group chat earlier, you take the good with the bad. But at what point do you look at it and say, we need to get more minutes into these guys' players? Newtown, do us a favour.
Yeah, look, for mine, it doesn't matter who's in the 1 to 6 or the 8 to 13 or whoever's on the bench, but the number 7 has to be Braden Trindle.
It has every single week.
Every single week it has to be Braden Trindle. Now, if he's called up to first grade, that's fine. We've got a pretty handy player named Niue Puru, and we've got Dan Atkinson there as well.
Very, very good, yeah.
But 7 every single week for the Newtown Jets has to be Braden Trindle. And the fact that he didn't play this weekend when we had a bye is absolutely disgusting, because I feel Tom Hazelton should have played this weekend.
Yeah, he should have. We need minutes in these players.
Yeah, to get minutes in his legs. And I think Connor Tracy should have played this weekend.
Yep, completely fair. But look, the Jets sit second despite throwing away 3 disgusting point and losing games that they downright shouldn't. So I'm gonna say overall I'm happy. On paper, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm not happy at all. What we should be is 4 points clear of the competition. We're 3 points behind the leaders. If you said, hey, we're going to sit second, I would have taken it. So I washed my hands of the Jets for a week, but I'll see you next weekend, boys. I do love you. First grade team, Terry, you happy with second spot?
We're the same as last year. We're much better in attack. Where our defence is okay. We score more points per game than any other team. I think both these buys, maybe I would have liked them spread out, but I think they've come at really good times, right? The first buy came after we just absolutely capitulated against the Warriors, and I felt that if we had to play the Roosters the week after, we would have got flogged.
Probably get us, yeah, good point.
Right? Now, we've come off, in this next 5 block, we've come off a bad loss to the Dolphins, bounced back against Manly, beat Newcastle, right? And then get the bye, leading into a game against Brisbane, who are going to have 5 Origin players backing up. We're also going to have the debut of Nico Hines. There's going to be a lot of emotion in that. Do I think all the Broncos players are going to back up? Absolutely not.
Maybe player or two.
I think the buys have come at a really good time. Second place, I think, is fair. If I look at it and look at the games that we've thrown away, if you beat the Warriors, we're first. If you don't go down to Canberra and cheat yourself, we're first. You know, we're there and thereabouts. Again, lots of people thought that we were going to do the decline that the Cowboys did. Those people are idiots. Second's good.
I completely echo everything you said. People came into this season and said, Cronulla can't do it again. Well, we're doing it again. Okay, look, we might fall off a cliff or we might kick up. Post-Origin, I mean, we've done it. We sit second and our forward pack's been depleted. I mean, we've missed our number one prop for how many weeks now and how many weeks to go? We lost Dykes, who was probably the next man up with the greatest of respects elsewhere.
Halanueli injured, Royce Hunt was injured. We've had Jack Williams in the other team, Wade Graham suspended.
McInnes, Finucane.
Who's been important, Finucane as well.
So, mate, if you'd offered me second in this spot, I'm jumping down your throat for it. And only Penrith have been better than us. Like, considering how well South have played and how well Brisbane have played, to sit second, I know we had a couple of buys, but what's to say we don't win those games anyways? I'm super, super happy. Now, it probably doesn't always come across that way because we have blown games, but the fact we're sitting here going, we should have won that game, 5 years ago, or probably a little bit further than that, we're going, geez, we were lucky to win that game. Well, we probably should have got flogged in that game.
Yeah, 2015 when we had Jack Bird and Jeff Robson as our halves going, oh, God, how did we win that game?
Yeah, that's all right. We sneak into the 8. This is very good. And then we do look at the teams in the reserve grade and the flag, and they both sit second. It's very good. 2
smart men sat on a couch and said that Cronulla had one of the deepest teams in the competition. You're starting to see that right now. Dan, just finally, NRLW, we're really excited. We should have been one of the inaugural teams. It doesn't matter. It's been rewritten.
It's been corrected.
We're here. It's been corrected. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. And we've rounded out our squad with an insane pickup. Tiana Penatani has joined as our 24th player. The squad is locked in. I'm not saying we're going to win it.
No.
But we're going to go pretty close, I feel.
Look, we'll save it. We'll do a down the track in a couple of weeks, perhaps. Maybe on Fins Up, I'll do a full rundown of the team. A lot of people are tagging and say, what about this player? What about this player? In terms of what we put together, considering the disadvantages we had coming in, is ridiculous. Out of the 4 teams that are coming into the competition, we're number 1, and then there's number 2, 3, and 4 down here. Like, there's a big gap. The Tigers got the big fish in Kezi Apps, and we said, yeah, we'll take Tonegado, thanks. And then we got, Jada Taylor, we got Penatani. We got all these players, and the Tigers went, again, I don't mean to bag the Tigers because we do so much of that elsewhere. I'm very happy. Now, the Roosters, for the record, are the favourites by a long way. Brisbane number 2. We're probably sitting in that number 3, but maybe...
What about Newcastle?
Newcastle lost a lot of talent.
They
They're
did
big
to
stars,
us.
which is great. And we rated Parramatta too, who made the grand final. So it's time to get excited. I put a predicted 17 out. There's been a little bit of feedback, which is good because some of the forwards I haven't, full disclosure, I haven't had a chance to watch because they've been playing for our New South Wales Cup team, the Harvey Norman. We just can't make those games with the kids. But... Get excited. Penatani certainly makes me excited.
Yep, I feel that. I feel that there's going to be something special.
A little top 4 finish, perhaps.
Dan,
Talk to me, Terry.
it's time for some top sport tips.
It's good to be back to a full round of rugby league, Terry.
Now, we say this with 3 buys, but we get 2 origins.
Yeah, but the team's on the buys.
Yeah.
I'll take it every week.
Let's do this. Now, Wednesday night,
The big one.
at Adelaide, Queensland versus New South Wales.
Here we go, Terry.
State against state, mate against mate.
Oh!
Hey!
Typical Queensland
Absolutely
shenanigans.
done him in.
There's a flu going through the camp.
Yeah, feeling
10 months to this.
feeling a bit sick.
Yeah, well.
Payne Haas didn't finish the session.
Yeah, he didn't.
Who knows what's going on here? What I do know is that New South Wales have picked a team that nobody likes. I still think they're going to win the game. I'm going to say they're going to win the game in Adelaide.
Yeah, and then
They're going to go and get flogged in Queensland.
Suncorp, yeah. And
And
lose
then
to
we'll
Decider.
figure out what's going to happen in game 3. But I am picking the Dirty Blues for this game, and I don't feel good about it. But I'm picking the Blues. $1.65 favourites on the top
Yeah,
spot.
I don't know how that continues to happen. This is the best Queensland side we've seen since the heyday.
Yeah, since
Now,
since
Queensland
the
find a
four
way to
Immortals.
win with teams that are nowhere near as good as this side. So I'm going to tip Queensland because whenever it's close, Queensland win. So that's just the way it is.
Just happens.
I have been watching some highlights of the last few series, and if Turbo and Troll go ballistic, Queensland are not in this.
Yeah.
But one of them's been in okay form, and one of them's on one leg.
Yeah.
So I do worry.
I did see something during the week that they said that Turbo and Latrell are the easy targets for Walsh and Hammer, and I was like, you just named the 2 targets for
Yeah,
Queensland. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It is going to be a lot of fun.
High
Dan.
scoring, you think?
Oh, no, I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I think both teams have picked a lot of points, but defence. You heard Andrew Johns say it's been one of the most boring camps that they've ever been in. It's all about defence. Billy Slater has been nothing but defence since he's been up there. What I do like is I don't like the coverage as we've pointed out, but I do like hearing the stories, the origin stories. Now you had Gordon Tallis on Triple M trying to string a sentence together, but he told a pretty funny story. You had Ryan Gerler, talk about, apparently he told someone on the night when he scored the most points in an Origin game, he said, I'm going to get a hat-trick tonight and I'm going to kick every goal, and he did it. So whether or not that's just true or
Yeah,
it's
in
fluff,
hindsight.
the Tallis story had a little bit more legs to it because it wasn't about him.
Yep, fair enough.
But I'm going to pick New South Wales to win. 16-12 is the scoreline I'm feeling.
I think Queensland will just win by a field goal because that's what they do.
Thursday night,
Combank Stadium.
we have the Women's State of Origin game.
Now, for those that haven't seen, this is a 2-game series. First time ever. It's always been one. One here, and then after Origin 2 in the men's, they go up to Townsville for the decider.
good.
Which I really like. This has been the first time, obviously, being 2, 1 in each state. Now, at first it was going to be if New South Wales won either game, they would retain, which is, it's rubbish. It kills the series. They've had some common sense and said that the aggregate score wins. So if you win 40-10, well, obviously it's going to be hard to come back in the second game, but it gives you something to play for in the next game is where I'm going. So I'm a big fan.
Common sense, though, you mentioned that. Common sense would have made it 3 games.
Well, of course it would. And we've had some players come out and say that the girls who aren't full-time would have taken some time off to play a third game. I think that's pretty true, and I dare say that'll change next year. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, mate, and back my Blues. I think Emerton Agado, the centres, the forwards, the halves, was better than you all over the park.
The fact that there's a lot of Sharks in the New South Wales team as well,
That sort of swings it, does it?
that swings it for me as well, so I'm going to pick Queensland by 6.
Completely fair. I'll go the Blues by 4. It'll be a late try. Make sure you get it to this one. This is going to be fun.
Now,
Back to some rugby league.
I guess
NRL.
outside of the exciting stuff, let's go Friday night. Not Jared Croker's 300th game at Campbelltown. It's the West Tigers against the Canberra Raiders. Tigers coming in, red hot form, 66 points to 18. Went and beat the Bye for the first time in 11 years. Coming up against a Raiders team that showed a lot of heart, a lot of spirit against Souths. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get over the top of the Raiders, though. I am going to pick the Tigers
Hey, what a turn up.
by 4.
Fair enough. I'll tip the Raiders. I think that they going to have a little bit to play for in the off-field stakes, and I just think that they're finding some form. They did beat South, a little bit depleted. Okay, I'll give you that, but you never felt like Canberra were going to lose that game. So I'm Pretty
Did
confident.
Manly dust Canberra?
They did. Yeah, they did. So
as well.
Canberra have got a loss in them.
Yeah.
Just
To my
quietly,
Tigers.
on this fixture though, do you think Channel 9 or they saw this game and thought, oh yeah, that's the 6 o'clock game, and then went to lock in the 8 o'clock, went, oh no, there's no 6 o'clock game this year, because this game screams 6 p.m.
Start of your Super Saturday, we have the New Zealand Warriors taking on the Dolphins. First time the Dolphins travel to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Dolphins' sensational win,
Really good.
showing that they do have some depth
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
didn't think that they had.
Milford.
Now, a lot of people are saying it was only the Dragons. You are correct. The Dragons are diabolical.
Spot on.
However, the Dragons have won 3 games this year.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe 2, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Less than
Who cares?
anyone else.
They are last. It is glorious.
Yeah.
Now, this game here, this is going to be a lot of fun. The Warriors, through love coming back.
Marquee game, would you say?
I would say this is a very fun 3 o'clock
Sean
game.
Johnson at 43 versus Anthony Milford at 43 stone.
Yeah, very good. I am going to pick the Dolphins to win this game.
I'm going to go the Warriors because they blew it the other night. They were gone against Brisbane and they came back only for Rocco to Berry to go yoink and cost them the game on the bell.
Pompey.
Adam Pompey to go yoink. We can fix that in post. I think the Warriors win. I think the Dolphins have to hit that wall soon.
They don't.
Surely? I've been saying it for 13 rounds.
They don't.
This is a week. Go you. I'm not going to call them the Wires because I hate that. That's cringe.
Well, I mean, they are the Wires because all they do is whinge. 5:30, the Gold Coast Titans are back from their hiatus against the South.
Oh, I hate the Titans.
Well, I hate the Tigers. Anyway, they are playing South Sydney up in Robina. I don't see a way that your Titans are going to win, Dan. Tell me how they are going to win.
Souths are going to rest 17 players. That's how the Titans are going to win. Now, without going on a tangent here, my Titans let Greg Marju go for what? Chris Randall?
Craig Randall.
Craig, how's that working out? Not well. Anyways, Titan.
Rabbits by plenty. And now, speaking of a marquee game, you've got 7:30 Shark Park, the Cronulla Southern Sharks taking on the Brisbane Broncos. As we discussed, both teams coming off Origin. Broncos obviously more affected than not.
Big time, yeah.
I could see the forwards having a rest. I think Reece Walsh plays.
Yeah, he's 21, he'll play, of course.
Payne Haas and Flegler,
Probably take the
hopefully,
week off,
because they're going to get some
Carrigan
minutes.
too. Take the week, boys. It's
Yeah,
sweet.
take the week. I still feel that we had the 2 good performances, get the bye at the right time, get to celebrate Nico being in the Origin camp. Blake Brayley called up as well.
Yeah.
I feel Cronulla are going to win this game by 6 points.
Now, I can't remember whether we're jinxing or whether we go
not.
Sharks.
We're going Sharks.
Sharks all the way. I think they get it done. At home, I'm fairly confident, but I think we've got the Broncos at a good time.
I think we got them at a very good time. 3 games on Sunday afternoon.
Super Sunday.
And they start off with the Roosters versus the Dogs in what will be an absolutely crap game. Don't watch it. Both teams are awful. Going into this game off dreadful form. It sucks.
Well, aren't you very positive tonight?
No.
I'm positive this game's going to be bad.
I'm positive this game's going to be bad.
Surely the Roosters can't get any worse.
They can't.
Surely they can't get any
They
worse.
can't get any worse. And if you lose to the Dogs, you might as well just capitulate that season because that Dogs team is crap.
Completely fair.
Roosters by 10.
Making lots of friends in the comments here.
Don't
But
care.
yeah, I'm going the Chookies just by default.
Now, 4 o'clock. This is going to be an absolutely fun game for 2 reasons. 1, you don't get Sunday afternoon games up in Townsville. And 2, Sunday afternoon games usually don't feature the Melbourne Storm. We've got the Cowboys and the Storm here. Very indifferent in terms of form.
True.
Both got lots of Origin players in there. Are they going to back up? Are they not? I don't think it really matters because the Cowboys are at their ceiling right now. And their ceiling is bottom 6.
15th, yeah.
Yeah, bottom 6 in the NRL. They were lucky last year. They've been found out this year. I think the Storm are going to win this game, and I think the Storm are going to win it quite well.
Yeah, look, I'm definitely on the Storm bandwagon for the fact that their halfback isn't Chad Townsend. Need I say more?
And Sunday night, things just go bad to worse for little brother.
Ah, the Dragons, eh?
They are at Penrith Stadium.
Oh, no.
Now, I do feel that one of the halves will be rested.
Yeah, fair enough.
So Penrith will just bring in another Avenger.
Doesn't matter who
And
they get.
absolutely destroy them. I think Penrith will have had this game won by half-time. And
Oh,
at full
yeah.
time, you and I will probably be sitting here in hysterics.
Yeah, look, there's not much more I can add to that. And
There's nothing positive you can say.
May it continue.
Nothing positive you can say about the Dragons. They made dreadful decisions during the week. They were dreadful on the weekend. They're going to make more poor decisions this week, and they're going to get flogged, and I'm happy.
Do they score a point?
Yes, I think either they're going to get a cheap penalty goal, or Penrith are going to be so tired
From laughing.
from laughing and kick returns.
Running back to halfway.
Yeah,
that's
that
it.
they're just going to turn around. You know what? We need a breather.
80-4.
Go and score. We'll stand under the sticks and get a minute's rest.
Yeah. Are you going to give them the clock?
Oh, I don't think no, because I think Penrith are going to rest. But I'll give the Dragons a 31.5 point head start.
Ooh.
What can you give for us on that top sport? Dragons 31.5.
I'm still going Penrith.
Terry's tip. Penrith 500. Everybody, thank you for tuning to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Top Sport and the Stubby Club. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Comments. Give us comments. We
Plenty
love
of
the
them.
comments.
Plenty of them. We've got another episode of
Rugby League Rumble. I'm going to, possibly tonight, possibly tomorrow, who knows, going to announce who's in it. Terry's graciously stepped aside because he said it's too easy.
I'm getting ready for the Night of Champions.
Yeah, that's right. So that's another announcement. But yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. You know what's going to be fun as well?
What's that?
Proper rugby league, baby.